Well, lesson number 3 for Sprouts, K1 and 2, is weeding out the competition. And lesson 3 for grades 2 and 3 is understanding plant growth and plant parts. And I think 4 or 5 is something similar. So the key is we're really all doing the same thing. We are going to remind the kids, maybe this could be the first time, I forget, science does this at some point. We're going to remind everyone about the plant parts. So we're going to tell them about the roots, the stem, and the leaves. And you'll see in the lesson there's some good background information about that. But that's kind of the key objective, is just for them to see that. And then the activity, just a quick overview, the quick activity is a scavenger hunt looking for weeds and identifying weeds because of their stems and their leaves. So that's how we're kind of incorporating the science to the garden. Couple different additional activities with this lesson. I think it was Mary last year. She actually put in a scavenger hunt, right?
Yes, I prep a sheet and I look in my bed. So we only look in our bed. So you look in the bed and what weeds do you have in your bed? What plants do you have in your bed? And so I printed that out, and then the kids try to kind of find what did they have in their bed.
And then did you actually do any weeding, or you just did a scavenger hunt?
No, we did a weed taste.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's like, oh, this one you can taste. Like this. I don't know if we're gonna get the same weeds this year. So.
Yeah. So that's one extension on the activity. The second extension, even though I'm not sure if we're gonna, depending on when you schedule this one, there was really no hurry, because when I went over there's not a whole lot of weeds yet, right? So what would be really nice if anyone has radishes, this is a great time to maybe harvest and eat radishes, just because they get so big so fast. So if you don't do it in December, by February, they're gonna probably not be edible anyway. So that's an extension idea, is actually harvest something. So the bins, I think we'll kind of just keep the bins a bit open. Hopefully we can get some helpers. So what we have is a whole stash of weed cards. These are pretty much the weeds that we identified are the most common in the hacienda garden beds. We do usually have a new one pop up every year. So I will admit, we'll have to take a look. Maybe we don't have that weed card. But what I in the past have identified and tried to help you which weeds are in your garden. So yeah, after 10 years, it's like, yeah, that's that one. Or I may not remember the name, but the kids have a card and the name. The fun thing about all these weeds is a lot of them are native flowers. So we call them weeds, and you'll see that in the lesson. We're calling them weeds because what is a weed? We define a weed as a plant that we did not plant that came up in our gardens. But I do always like to remind the kids that these are native flowers. So if you're out on hikes, you will see these plants growing in our surroundings. So it was just the fact that we go back to that basic, but they're a weed in our garden, right? So that's kind of, I think, another big takeaway, doing plant parts and then defining how we define weeds at Hacienda. And then we'll have a bin here of stuff too. So if you are going to harvest, we have trays, we have cutting boards. Oh, I need to grab some knives. And like bowls and strainers, so just in case you want to eat weeds or eat other leaves. Taste, yeah. Okay, taste. You'll have to tell us more about that, Mary. We'll go to the gardens too. I'm not going to bring this with us, but just so you know. So if you want to just keep it safe and clean. I think the lesson actually says we're going to have buckets. I didn't grab those today. I think we actually need to replace our buckets because they're looking sad. But anyway, so that kind of just gives you an overview of what supplies are here, and you can kind of just pick and choose how you want to really complete your lesson. Should we go in the gardens and check out my herb bed and see what's growing? Great, so we're in our garden bed. We're using the same garden bed that we planted. We have our sink up and so forth, and it's time to, there's really not a whole lot of prep in the garden besides making sure you know which weed cards you have and you can identify some of those weeds. And then you're going into the classroom and we're going to do our quick review. We're talking about kind of what we did last time, a little bit more of hop spirit. So I don't like reading word for word. You guys can read it at home, right? But we're going to quickly talk about what the parts of the plant are. Like I said, the 1st through 5th graders should know this. They've talked about this with Miss Weishan and I think in kindergarten. It's just the kinders haven't had that part yet, so everyone kind of should know. And then we're just gonna, so that's our little spiel about kind of part plants, and then it's time to come out. And this is what I recommend doing for the little kids. For upper grade kids, you can kind of see how it goes. But I'm gonna show them a card and be like, this is a weed called Elegant Clarkia. I'm gonna give you a card and I want you to walk around our garden bed, and it's probably possible to use your neighbor's garden bed too. And we're gonna try to identify this leaf and the stem. And once you believe you've identified that, then you need to raise your hand, and I'm gonna come over and make sure we agree, and then we're gonna pull that out. And then I guess I should have brought that bucket. And then we're gonna put all our weeds in our blue bucket that are gonna go into the green waste bin. So I'm gonna hand out cards. See if you guys can help me find Elegant Clarkia. I actually don't think we have this one. I think you have it in yours. Those, oh, but you took them all out, Celine. So thank you. Okay, so you guys ready? You can work in your pairs. Team up with your buddy and see if you can find Elegant Clarkia by just looking at the leaf. See if you can look at the comparison. You can kind of look at your leaf. Does it look like an arrow? Right? You can help them describe, like the poppy has like a long stem and then 3 points of a leaf.
Okay, yeah, same. So this, that one.
Yeah, right? Exactly. They found one. Good. Yeah. And then you can just kind of remind them how we're going to pull it. We're going to use our crayfish pincher fingers and get as far at the bottom of that stem that you can see. And we're going to try to pull out that whole plant to see if you can grab the whole part.
Nice
Ooh,
job.
I see the root. I see the stem and I see the leaf. Good job. We got the whole plant pulled up. And then, the key is this, just to repeat. Like, it'll take them a while to hopefully clear out that one. And you're going to do the one weed card that you see the most of, right? And then if time exists, you could pull out another one, right? Ooh, California poppy. And this one's kind of interesting. If you have a knowledgeable kid, they're going to be like, but we can't pull those. And we're going to say, in our garden, they are a weed, so they're not protected, and we can actually pull them out. I haven't seen these much. Okay, and that's one that I like to keep. Can you get that one on camera? Ladies, if you guys want to see this one. This is a lupin plant. That's the California lupin. So I don't think I have a weed card for that one, because that one I like to keep. That is a really, really nice pollinator that it's not really very invasive. Oh yeah, so that's good. Oh no, but there's another lupin. But this one definitely, this one pulls out funny, right? You can kind of see there's really not a stem. So you could even grab a weeders too, right? If the soil's not too wet. But right now we're so lucky because they pull out pretty well, even though I didn't get all the roots. So that one's a little bit trickier to pull compared to your Elegant Clarkia. So it could be fun to try to pull a few different ones just to show how they are different. Like, look at how the roots are a little bit different for one weed versus the other. So that's really the focus, right? We're just showing, wow, we have really big roots, and look at that pretty stem. It's kind of reddish. And then these have an interesting leaf to it. And then the other thing I like to do is if I do have some plants growing pretty big, I like to just go around and be like, hey, you guys, we have radishes growing. What part of the plant can you see? And then bring it around about where we actually planted this, and hopefully you can see the leaf of the radish. And maybe you want to take one out and be like, oh, look how the radish is growing. Oh, I don't think it's ready to be harvested yet. Or yes, we're gonna pull these and eat these today. So just kind of walk around your garden to refresh their memory too of what was planted. Or go on a scavenger hunt and look at other people's gardens as well. And then Mary does it a little bit different. Instead of the weed cards, she actually makes them go on a scavenger hunt
It's easier
and
for
find
little
it.
ones.
Yes. But then what weeds were you tasting last year?
I forgot the names, but there's some butter something one, which is the sour one.
Oh, the sour grass.
Yeah, the sour grass.
I haven't seen sour grass yet this
yeah.
year. Okay, that's a good one. Yeah.
Can I ask if I found this? Is that what?
Sorry, this is sour grass.
Is this the elegant?
That is the Elegant Clarkia.
It looks almost like just like the photo, but I thought I could be fooled. Maybe it's just what a baby plant looks similar, but.
No, that is the Elegant Clarkia. Right, and it is tricky because the weed cards are at different stages,
It's like a
right?
little
So
match in here.
like I personally, I'm not sure what this is. This looks like this could be a plant.
Yeah. It looks like
But this looks like grass, but that could be a carrot too. So you know, a little bit of unknown, you can just kind of let it be.
I didn't even notice these sticks at first. I saw the big ones.
So yeah, and then you know, make sure we wash our hands in the sink, and then you're gonna grab your next group and repeat.